the word spreads. I thought, what the hell? I'm going to say dinghy diver too, but here we go. We demand you drop your racist policy. Say anything bad about our dinghy brethren, you're a racist. I've had this thrown at me as well. I'm not racist one little bit, I'm afraid, so carry on. Speaking of which, where's Gary the dinghy diver? I haven't seen him tonight, and he usually puts in an appearance. We demand you drop your racist policy. Yelling eco-demonstrators disrupt Priti Patel's speech at Tory dinner in protest over her cruel and inhumane Rwanda migration policy. Right, this is the moment Priti Patel was ambushed by a group of eco-protesters over her Rwanda migration policy while giving a speech at the Tory dinner on Friday night. Looks like it got infiltrated by some leftards. A video shared by campaign group Green New Deal Rising shows several protesters suddenly stand up one at a time to deliver a message to the Home Secretary. In a clip online, Miss Patel dons a pink dress as she approaches the podium at the Bassett Law Conservative Spring Dinner. The Cabinet Minister manages to say, "Good evening, everybody." It reminds me of a spitting image puppet, that one does. "I actually just want to start." And then a female protester, posing as a guest at the £40 a head event, I wouldn't give you tuppence, stands up on her chair. She shouts towards the stage, "Priti Patel, your racist policies are killing people." Yes, okay. Your plans to send people seeking asylum to Rwanda are inhumane. They're inhumane and are going to ruin people's lives. Well, I tell you what, is a very simple answer to this. Don't cross the fucking channel. The demonstrator is then escorted by security. But then another woman stands up from her chair and continues the protest, saying young people are disgusted by the controversial immigration policy as she's ushered out. Yet another protester gets up and brands the policy cruel before they all begin chanting, "Out, out, out." Yes, okay. Right, where else are we? Let's loads of pictures here of these people, I tell you. Another man and woman then get up from their chairs shouting that the policy is racist and problematic and inhumane. No, you're sadly mistaken here, you see. The problem is the dangerous crossing over the English Channel and the RNLI being taken away from the job that they're supposed to do. And the Navy sitting there bobbing up and down because their ships are too high to get these buggers on there. And even when they do get them, they bring them over here and don't send them back over there. So Rwanda, it might be paradise. The whole group can then be heard shouting, "Say it loud, say it clear, refugees are welcome here." Got to be a bunch of lefties. The group tweeted the video today saying, "Last night we disrupted Priti Patel because her Rwanda plan is cruel, morally bankrupt, and it will cost lives. We demand the government drops this widely condemned policy and provides support for people seeking safety. No matter where we come from, we all deserve dignity and respect." That, I agree, everybody does deserve dignity and respect. They added, "was sickened to see the government ramping up its hostile policies rather than helping those fleeing from war, poverty and extreme weather." They're extreme weather and they're getting across the English Channel. Okay. As climate change displaces entire communities, climate change, okay, leaving people vulnerable to exploitation and violence, we must act with compassion. As a country with a long history of exploiting people and resources, the UK must recognise its responsibility. Yes, that's these country-hating, left-leaning, salad-eating, Guardian reading, champagne sipping, whatever the rest of the words are. Unbelievable. We call on the government to provide an accessible and decent system for people seeking refuge, to drastically cut emissions and to pay its dues. Hashtag Green New Deal. This has got fuck all to do with the environment. The activist group quickly received the backing of former Green Party leader Caroline Lucas, who commended the disruption and said the group showed the moral leadership that's so tragically absent from this government. A Home Office spokesperson said the world-leading migration partnership will overhaul our broken asylum system, which is currently costing the UK taxpayer £1.5 billion a year. I would take that figure with a pinch of salt. I don't know about you. The highest amount in 2 decades. It means those arriving dangerously, illegally or unnecessarily could be relocated to have their asylum claims considered, and if recognised as refugees, build their life there. Our new migration and economic development partnership with Rwanda fully complies with international and national law. Last night's protest came after it was reported that Ms Patel's new scheme for sending failed asylum seekers to Rwanda will start next week. Will it? Anybody down Dover way watching the coastline at the moment, as I know some are, let's see what effect that has. I think they will still come. The first migrants to be sent to the Central African nation will be single men. That's pretty much what's coming over after all. And it's expected that they will be notified by Home Office lawyers in the next few days. However, the flagship plan may not start for months in the face of legal action by human rights groups. I said it, didn't I? I said it. You wait for the human rights lawyers to get all over this, and not one full plane will leave. A Home Office source told the newspaper the first referrals will be going next week, so people will be put on notice. The Home Secretary's team is ready for legal challenges, while Boris Johnson lashed out at Liberal lawyers for delaying his plan to send thousands of migrants from the UK to Rwanda and vowed to get it done. The government had wanted flights to Kigali to start by the end of May. Under the contract it's secured with the government. Under the partnership agreement, people arriving in the UK, including by crossing the channel in small boats, will be flown 4,000 miles to East Africa if they are deemed to have travelled illegally for economic reasons rather than asylum. Oh, I tell you what, you got France, you got us, and you got Africa. Maybe they could do a U-turn, you never know. But Number 10 said it could not put a timescale on when the scheme will begin. Last week, 2 asylum seekers who came to Britain in the backs of lorries this year instructed lawyers to bring a legal challenge against the policy. This takes the piss. They come over here, they're probably paying a few grand for their seat or their part of the back of the lorry, and then when they're going to get thrown out, they launch legal action. I didn't think legal aid existed anymore, really, so are they paying for it? Is this being laid on for them? What's going on? It comes as analysis of government figures shows 7,240 people have reached the UK after navigating busy shipping lanes from France in small boats in just the past 4 months since the start of 2022. Well, as the press is reporting that, I suggest that's probably an underestimate. It's probably more like 10,000. They include almost 700 people who have crossed in the past week. Critics say the 11-day break had simply been due to the poor weather, and insisted that the Home Secretary's Rwanda policy would not act as a deterrent to those seeking refuge in Britain. I agree, because, again, the lawyers will be all over this. Anxious Border Force officials have now suggested that further delays to the Rwanda scheme will only embolden migrants to attempt the dangerous voyage, warning that the Channel crisis could get worse before it gets better. The MOD took over control of migrant operations in April, when the government also announced controversial plans to send some of those making the Channel journey to Rwanda. So there you go, Rwanda. Well, here's my personal take on it. This lefty lot that invaded her party, I think they're barking up the wrong tree. This has got bugger all to do with the environment. It's got to do with the movement of people and the reason they're moving. Now, if you're genuinely in need, your country's at war, and there's a problem, and you need to get the hell out of Dodge and ensure the safety of you and your family, then absolutely fine. All right? Come to a safe place. We'll look after you. We'll keep you nice and warm. But when your country is safe, fuck off. Go home. Rebuild. But if you're going to pay some schmo a few £1,000 for a seat on a dinghy, which will come across the English Channel and may or may not sink on the way, and you're only after what you can get, then that's a different story. So all of those cluttering up the hotels, the army barracks, and throwing air cadets out their long-term home because the government wants to use the buildings as a processing centre, that's a different kettle of fish. Now, I think all of those people should be on the planes to Rwanda, but I tell you, this will not happen at all. It will not happen. And the simple reason is it's bullshit. With anything like this, there's bureaucracy up to your head, and not to mention the lawyers. They'll challenge literally everything. You put 30 of these people on a plane, 2 will take off with it. I guarantee you. It's a complete disaster. Anyway, I'm off on one tonight, as you can probably see.